Hello guys, it's Fruity back again with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the whole argument between Hilda and Frida in episode 9 of season 1 titled The Ghost, and I want to see who's the correct one in the argument because a lot of people disagree on what it is and I want to make a video talking about it, so let's get into it. So the episode basically starts with Frida freaking out because her room is suddenly a mess and one of her books is missing. Since Frida is usually super organized and likes everything to be perfect, this completely stresses her out. She then goes on to ask Hilda and David to help figure out what's going on, and Hilda immediately jumps to the conclusion that it might be a ghost messing with her room, because of course she does. She's Hilda and she has main character syndrome. Of course she's gonna come up with some ridiculous conclusion. The trio try to investigate and they eventually discover that Frida has actually been sleepwalking and making the mess herself, and she doesn't even try keeping her room clean, which really embarrasses her because she always thought that it was perfectly neat. On top of that, the missing book is really important to her, and things in her life are starting to go wrong, like losing papers and messing up school stuff. Since Frida is running for class president and cares a lot about being responsible, this makes her feel like everything is falling apart. But Hilda is still convinced that a ghost used to clean Frida's room, and that something happened to make it stop. So the three of them start researching about ghosts and eventually figure out that the room might be haunted by a ghost of a boy named Craigie, who used to love the same book that Frida had. When they summon him, he explains that he used to tidy her room because he liked the book, but he thinks his sister stole it. So they wake up the sister's ghost. Wait, how am I meant to pronounce this name? I put it in the script. Isn't that like Engelbort? Engelbort? Okay, I guess that's how the name is. Engelbort, who refuses to give the book back and instead challenges them to a fight. The kids try to get it back, but things don't really go right. However, due to Hilda's smart thinking, she lays on the gravestone bed and refuses to move even though morning is arriving, which ghost cannot stay out in daylight. She is given back the book, and Frida is very proud of her. Yay! Unfortunately, that was the complete wrong book, and Frida goes back to being upset. Aww. Now that we have finished the summary, let's talk about the Hilda and Frida fight. I want you to remember that the show mostly takes place in Hilda's perspective, which means a lot of things that happen will look a lot worse because we are seeing it from Hilda's side. We're going to be trying our best to have a neutral perspective on both parties, both Hilda and Frida respectively. But anyways, Frida's mom says to Hilda and David that Frida hasn't been acting herself lately and that she thinks that Hilda and David would be able to help out. Hilda responds with, "It's just a messy room, Frida. It does not make your whole personality." Frida responds with a bit of vulnerability. She mentions how important it is for her parents to see her as perfect and how she really wants to be perceived as perfect herself because without being perfect, she doesn't know who she is as a person.
My parents think I'm perfect. It's really quite important to them. To be honest, it's important to me too. If I'm not perfect, then I don't know who I am.
Hilda clearly feels upset that Frida feels this way, so she goes back to comforting her, telling her that the book is not necessary for her to be a person, and how Hilda is still friends with her and David. But after that, Frida snaps. She goes on a full rant, which I'll let you watch for yourself.
You think it's easy being your friend?
I'd say I'm pretty low maintenance compared to you.
Well, I don't drag people into dangerous situations just for the fun of it.
Well, at least I know how to have fun.
Right, because you're the cool wilderness girl, all free-spirited and everything. You think you're too good to play by the rules, just like the rest of us.
This all goes on for a bit until Frida says,
I'm sorry you ever moved here.
Come on, David. Let's go. You could just learn to tidy your own flippin' room.
Well, that was emotional. Time for our next segment. Let's talk about Frida's perspective first. Imagine your whole life you have lived up to everyone's expectations. Your teachers, your school, your friends, your family, and yourself. And the expectations are up to the max. It is perfection they are seeking. It's what they see of you. It's what they know you for, your perfection. And then have to realize you have made a ridiculous mistake. You thought rooms clean themselves. You didn't think people had to clean their own rooms. And why did you not know that rooms don't clean themselves? Because someone else was doing it for you. So your perfectionism does not exist. Perfectionists hate that. They love being independent. So when they find out things like whenever someone just helps them out a little bit, they refuse help. Perfectionists always like being independent because getting help is seen as imperfect. Then your friend says, your perfectionism doesn't matter. That would piss off a perfectionist immediately, which explains why Frida got so defensive and so frustrated at Hilda. Okay, let's see Hilda's perspective. Your house was destroyed, so you have to move to a different town. You move to this really niche town you've never heard of before, and you make 2 new friends. One's a scaredy cat and one's a perfectionist. You have become the unofficial leader of the group, showing that you have confident leadership skills, and you don't seek the approval of others, and you don't have a need for perfection, and you're not scared. Despite you not being a people pleaser, you definitely care about others, especially when you find out your friend's room has become really messy and she's very confused about it, and along with that, she has lost her book. Knowing your other friend isn't as brave as you and probably wouldn't be as helpful with support, and knowing he's kind of teasing your other friend, you decide to be the one who supports her. You're the one who tells her we'll find that book. You're the one who helps her out. You are unable to find the book back for your friend, which is disappointing. Expecting your friend to be upset, you try comforting her, only for her to get significantly mad at you, the person who tried helping her the most. As you turn around to leave, annoyed with the argument, your friend tells you she wishes you never even moved there. You leave with your other friend, and that's that. Now, who do I personally think is in the wrong? Who do I think is the one we should blame for this? Is it Frida or is it Hilda? Well, it may shock you to hear this, but I think they're both in the wrong. While Frida may have bigger flaws that are more easy to spot, Hilda has tons of flaws for her own that nobody mentions. Hilda is very impulsive. This causes her to make very risky and dangerous decisions, which are basically all her adventures. Almost the entirety of the show would have not happened had Hilda not been so impulsive. For good and for bad. Characters like Joanna, Twig, and basically everyone is able to point this out. This is an ongoing gag in the show. It is something people point out all the time, but the audience apparently doesn't see it because whenever I talk about this episode, everyone just blames Frida. Frida's perfectionism really comes off as egotistical, especially in season 1. The way how she treats David really comes off as mean. Anyways, here's the straw page art. I love it. It's so pretty. The Uzi one's so cute. And the other one, actually, the eyes are pretty realistic. You did a good job. And I'll see you in the next one, Fruity Loopers.